Blake Delaney has...
And welcome everybody to our Sim Racing World review show. Tonight, I'm your host as usual, Steve Sinkovich. Beside me, my little brother Dean.
How are we, viewers? Hope we're all well. Steve, how are you?
I'm pretty good, mate. Pretty good.
That's the way to go. Last week of the block, so...
I can't do anything. We're related. He is my real brother. So
yeah, so we're not going to talk about the block?
No, we're not going to talk about that,
then,
mate.
Let's get on with the show.
Yeah, the only block in this place is your head. Anyway, tonight we're going to cover a few things. As usual, we'll do the Sim Racing World racing results from our Tuesday night's Sim Rings V8 Supercar Amateur Series, our Wednesday night Shannon's Formula 3 Nationals, and our Thursday night's Shannon's Toyota GR86 Nationals, followed by Warren and Brown's IMSA Shadow Series, and our pinnacle event on the weekend, which is a Sunday night, our Sim Rings V8 Supercar Pro-Am Series. We'll touch base on a bit of real-world racing, what went on in Queensland, what went on in Mexico, and some other little topics as we go through.
You're really going to shorten those titles, mate.
Well, you know, people remember them. That's all they remember them. That's cool.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, let's get cracking into it, and we'll start with our Formula 3s and our Toyota GR86 series, which is the Shannon Nationals for both of them. Fantastic racing as usual. The guys were from top to bottom. We've actually split the both series now to Pro, Pro-Am, and Rookie. So now we've got 30, 40 plus drivers, and each one gets to crack to actually fight for a title of their own. So they're not just racing at the back.
Makes it more interesting.
Yeah, they're not just racing for position. Yeah, they're racing for a title. Yeah,
you can see everyone's racing in every pack as well, which is awesome to see. So
it is. It's really cool. You'll find their little battles up and down. We're still finding a way that we can, best do the coverage from top to bottom. We're looking at doing a bit of window in window action for our for the broadcast, so we can cover two things at once, but technically we're having a few issues with it. Internet's a massive thing for us because we do everything live.
Australian internet, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Australian internet is a third world country.
Yeah, it's shocking, but anyway, it is what it is.
We won't get into that side of it. Well, whatever political party is in there next, I'm sure they'll try to do something better.
But it's, Steve, if you're a internet provider and you need to want to sponsor...
He doesn't mean to come across like a car salesman. He just does. It's just one of those things. Look, anyway, let's have a look at the results for the Formula 3 race on Wednesday night. So the Shannon's Formula 3 Nationals. We have over 30-plus drivers in the series. We have round 4, and in Heat 1, we had the winner of Pro Series, which is Phil Vella from DFR, followed by Heat 2 winner is Simon Malloy from DFR, and in the feature, Michael Cuttajar for the Privateers.
You know what? Heat 1, Michael Cuttajar just missed out, actually, because Vella just got behind him, and right in the last turn there, got him and pipped him at the post. So it was sitting behind him, waiting for it, played a smart game, and pipped him on Heat 1, but obviously got him back.
Well, that particular track there's a bus stop up. You're going up the Roval, so
it was Daytona.
Yeah, Daytona. Yeah. So if you come too early and you get the draft in the first section, you're better off having the draft for the second section because that's
where he got him.
Yeah.
On the bank there, he just lined him up in beauty. So
even if you have them in the first section, it's best not to overtake there and wait for the second section, and that's where he's done it. Yeah, picked at the post. Yeah. Great racing.
Oh yeah,
great racing. The boys did some fantastic stuff out there. I absolutely loved it. It's one of those tracks that you either love it or you hate it. But it's one of those things. Not a lot of drivers like the Rovals because of the different conditions. You got the big drift and drags across the top of the ovals, and then inside.
Good track.
Inside the circuit bit can tend to be a little slippery with those sort of tracks.
For an oval track, half oval, I think it's a good track.
Oh yeah, a lot of fun.
Good bit of mixture.
A lot of fun.
On that, Steve, our own Tyler Sheaf actually came in first in the Heat 1 on the AM, so he did well on that first heat. And also a relative of mine, Danny Matesic, came in Heat 2 in position 3. So well done, Danny.
Yeah, he did really well. The boys all the way up and down the field are actually fighting and putting up some amazing racing.
It could be another plug for a sponsor, Danny.
I think Danny watches the show. Maybe we'll have to send him a special link for TDK Civil. Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Give us a call, Dad. Don't be a stranger, mate.
Yeah,
We're our
exactly.
family.
Sorry about the plugs.
Anyway, let's have a look at the ladders for the pros, the pro-ams, and the AMs in the Formula 3s. So your top 5 in the pros is Phil Vella, Michael Cadiger, Daniel Burns, Dylan DeBono, and Jay Dixon. So very, very fast guys up the front. It's crazy. And Dylan DeBono again.
I was going to say, one name that stands out there again, Dylan DeBono. So
He seems to be doing really well everywhere.
Yeah.
In the pro-ams, we've got Adam Simpson in first place, Andrew Lydon, followed by Nathan Varney, Chris Swatting, and Greg Brady. I was about to say, is that Greg Johnson, but it's not, because he's a rookie with me.
it's Greg Brady.
Yeah, Greg.
Jan's brother.
Jan's brother? Yeah, I thought so. And then in the amateurs, we've got Matt Tesserario, followed by Tyler Sheaf, Greg Johnson in third, Michael Cochran and Campbell Masterson in fifth. So that's your F3
Go Team Greg.
series.
Well done.
Yeah, they've had an absolute pearler, Team Greg.
Yeah, well done.
And Mr. Leakey's actually doing a fair bit of racing at the moment.
I did hear that. I spoke to someone the other day about him, and good on you to be back on the track, Leakey. Well done, mate.
Well, he's racing the amateurs on Tuesday night and in the Shannon's GR86.
Just so people know, Leakey's one of our older drivers. I think he's about 120 or something like that. So, and he looks like a gnome, basically. So, yeah. So, picture a gnome.
He actually doesn't know what he looks like.
Picture a gnome. And an 120-year-old bloke, that's Leakey.
So he's a gnome with an oxygen mask on.
Something like that, yeah.
Got to get one of those and put it in the show and have it sit beside. Oh, what's this?
Hello, what's going on here?
Oh, that's one of our hats. You should put that over your face. I mean, on your head.
And that ain't a gnome. That ain't Leakey.
No. This is the Season 3 trophies. These will be going out this week. So the Grim Industries have done an amazing job putting these together for us.
Well done, Grim.
Thank you very much, and appreciate the work you put into them. And these will be going out to all the boys this week.
May I?
Yeah, very heavy, mate. It's about 3 kilos.
Have a look at that, would you? Seriously? You could actually do some weights, actually. Think about it.
Hey, settle down. It's the first exercise you've done all year.
Heart attack? Sorry, no.
Oh, he's going to have a coronary. All right, let's skip into the Shannon's Toyota GR86 Nationals. So, again, it's a super sprint series. We run the 20 minutes heat 1, 20 minutes heat 2 with a reverse top 10, and then a top 5 reverse for the feature, which is the last 20-minute spiel. The boys are all having a blast. A lot of carnage here and there, but I'll tell you what.
It's rubbing and racing, you know. It's
It is.
tin top, so
Yeah, it is. A few cars on their roofs.
yeah.
A few cars on their roofs. You got to get in there and watch it.
Great track as well, Snetton. So love that track.
Yeah.
It's a short one. I like the longer one, but it is a fantastic track.
We won't put the picture of the what the track layout is on. No, we won't do that.
Why not?
We're not allowed. Because it looks quite phallic.
Okay, it does.
we'll get straight onto it. So in heat 1 and 2, Jamie Christensen again. He won all 3 heats last week.
Killing it, yeah.
Really, really well.
He's
So,
fast, though.
well, if he's watching, Jamie, you need to slow down and let some other people get some glory as well. So Jamie is from Vermeulen Motorsports, and heat 3 was won by Dylan DeBono.
Yeah, the feature race. Well done,
Yeah,
Dylan.
feature race. So he did really well.
Which is,
Dylan raced
obviously more
velocity.
points, so it's good that for him.
Well, it's not anymore. It's equal points now.
it? Okay.
Yeah, it's equal points.
So what do we call the feature?
It's because we call it a heat, B main, and a feature. That's what our racing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
There you go.
that's where that is. So in the pros, we have Simon. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Sam Kutakazinos is sitting in first place, followed by Jamie Christensen. In third is John McHenry, J-Mac. Fourth is Douglas Guns Out Gowans. And in fifth, Tim Corn. So really doing really well. And Dylan Bono just sitting there in sixth for the pros. So he's had a few weeks off with things that he needs to do for real-world racing. In the amateurs, we've got Curtis Jackson sitting in first place, Mark Cochran sitting in second, Cameron Hardwick in third, Jaden Basilage in fourth, and Nathan Kane in fifth. Callum Hodgkinson, our previous champion, is sitting in 6th at the moment, so he's doing quite well there. In the rookies, we've got Wayne Linwood sitting in 1st place, Steve Sinkovich, myself, sitting in 2nd, Greg Johnson in 3rd, Graham Nucky in 4th, and Phil Buckland in 5th. Very, very tight across those points, right across the ladder from top to bottom.
I'll tell you now, what I love is the start, and when Shibby starts panning through all the cars coming towards you.
Yeah.
When you're seeing 30 to 50 cars, it is absolutely fantastic. And one thing I noticed was that there was no accidents. Turn 1, turn 2, it was clean. F3s, 86s, it was really clean. So we do have a lot of clean racing out there, which is fantastic.
They saved it all for Sunday night.
Yeah.
They saved it all for Sunday night.
Oh, there you go.
So that was that's your 86 series. The boys had an absolute blast. Next week, can't remember where we're at. I thought I wrote it down. We are at no idea. We'll let you know after the break where we are next week. But it's going to be spectacular racing, no matter what it is and where we are. The boys putting in heart and soul on every single lap they can put in. Anyway, catch you after this break, and we'll touch base on the IMSA and our bit of general conversation, and then we'll follow up and finish it off with the AMs and the Pro-Ams.
Tuesday night, Sunday night.
Yeah, when Preach brings out the Bible and we have a bit of a chin wag.
Yeah.
And welcome back. We've just had a bit of a laugh here because Dean seems to think he's a parrot. Talk over top of me. But good old welcome back, Connor here. You guys look it up in Google and you'll see how
great
old
show
Dean actually is.
Great show. Welcome back, Connor.
We're going to go through the IMSA, the Warren and Brown IMSA Shadow Series results and ladder positions, and we'll talk a little bit about a community announcement before we get into the V8 Supercars.
So the Warren and Brown IMSA Shadow Series at Sebring. GTP, Brendan Grotch came in first. Well done, Brendan. Frog Leap Juiced Racing. Scott Hassler, Frog Leap Juiced Racing came in second. And Jacob O'Reilly from Vermilion Motorsport. So well done to you, the top three. The GT3s. Wow. Greg Barber, Crisscross Racing. Adam Hughes, Crisscross Racing. Cal Hodgkinson, Crisscross Racing. Bit of a theme there.
And if you buy it now, you can get a Ford and get an LMCT and 12 months warranty.
Yeah,
he sounds like a damn car salesman.
No, I bloody don't. Anyway, do you want to go through the ladder, Steve, or do you want me to go?
No, you can do it, mate. It's
all right. Okay. So
got to pay your dues.
Yeah, true. Jake Edwards is in position 1. He's after round 4. So he's in position 1, where Ty Delaney came in second so far. And Brendan Grotch is in 3rd. Troy Maguire in 4th, and Douglas Gowans in
Guns Out Gowans.
Guns Out Gowans is in 5th. So that is the GTP lineup at the moment. And the GT3s, we have Mr. Greg Barber, Crisscross Racing in number 1, Aaron Schotter in P2, Harry Dodds in P3, Alexander Ganotis. So got that right.
Well done, bro. Final.
And Alexander Ganotis is in 4th, and Sean Bonici is in P5. So, yeah, well done to you. Crisscross Racing, well done.
Yeah, they've done really well in the GT3s across that. That was a great night of racing. The host is still finding it a bit of a challenge with the classes getting everyone even TV time, but it was a lot better this week.
Mm-hmm.
The action was right across the field. They actually caught the GT3s coming across the finish line, which was quite amazing. But a lot of fun, a lot of battle. Those GTPs, man, they are so damn fast. Look like real fun. Actually, they're next week they're racing at Monza. I'm going to have a crack. That's if my wife lets me on a Friday night jump in the rig. But I'm planning on jumping in there and having a bit of a go because there's a few positions available.
I'm just looking at the ladder, Steve.
Yeah.
Adam Hughes. Is that his first race?
Adam's been away with work, so I think it's his second race. Second race. I think the first race he didn't do too well. But Hughes is from Crisscross. Crisscross is very, very well represented in the GT3s. They do love them. And then you got the Fishy Boys very well represented in the GTPs.
Yeah, yep. Not just that. And in the GTBs, you got Frog Leap Juice Frog Leap Juice Racing as well.
Well, they finished first and second, and they was a dominant performance, man. They were really smart. They
Played the team game.
Oh, they played the team game beautifully, man.
As you do.
They got into the pits together. They were left out together. You can see that they were synchronised for everything they were doing, giving each other a drag wherever they needed to get away from the guys behind them. Really, really good racing. We had in the GT3s, we had one of our commentators, Ryan Green, was doing really well, sitting in the top 3. I think he was actually in first place. And I think it's a couple of laps to go or a lap to go, and he'd come around a corner and just put the jangle down a bit too hard and spun it. So unfortunate for him, and that cost him. With a tight field, you can't afford to lose it. As soon as you do, everyone just goes past you in this series. So
yeah, of course, you don't get that opportunity to get back on the track, can you?
Nah, not.
You've got to wait for that little break.
Yeah, with the numbers all across all our series at the moment, if you do go off,
you feel it.
You do feel it.
Yeah.
You've got to be very lucky to lose 1 or 2 spots. Usually it's at least 10 spots in most of our series. But that was the Warren and Brown IMSA Shadow series.
Was
a lot of fun. Recommend you watch it on YouTube like the rest of our racing. But we've got a bit of a community announcement. The fishy boys who are with racing with us in great numbers, like a school of fish.
And well done to you, boys. Thank you.
Yeah, they do. They really come out there. They're doing a Race for Eddie hashtag on the back of all their vehicles. So we're going to ask any of our boys who want to put it on there, or even other series that want to do it out there, please come on and do it. Eddie Kilmovsky. Yeah, Komofsky. I hope I pronounced that right. I think it sounds like it's a bit of a Czech surname. But Eddie is going through some we don't know hard times of some sort. We don't know the full details of it, and we don't really need to know the full details of it.
Yeah.
We, as a community at SRW, get behind and support everyone that we can. And if you do know Ed, pop in and say hello to him. Make sure you give him a bit of a laugh and keep his spirits high. It's not always necessary to know what the hell's going on. No. It's all about support. Yeah, having a bit of a chat.
Yeah.
And so someone to talk to. If he wants to tell you what's going on, he will. But it's get your arms around him and help him out where you can. So that was my community announcement. Apart from that, it's been an epic start to the season. As numbers are very high, we're starting to have conversations about what we're going to do for season 1 next year. In the Toyota GR86 series, the boys are already talking about tracks that they'd like to have in there. Something a bit more specific to the cars. Preach has actually suggested earlier on this evening that maybe we should look at the tracks that are more car specific. So that way we're not racing like in the past. We would have, say, a Tour of America. And we'd have Watkins Glen, and we'd have, Daytona, and all these American tracks. Everyone would race on them in all different cars. And not all cars really suit tracks. Like, say, for instance, the Daytona, a long track might not suit the GR86s as much. Or,
of course not. No.
Or, something is really condensed and small. I love Chicago for the V8s, but some people don't like it because it's very small. It's got walls out. It's like the US version of Monaco, as far as I'm concerned.
Snap was a good track for the 86s.
I loved it.
Yeah,
loved it.
And the short track.
A lot of fun. A lot of the UK tracks are good though.
They are
for the F3 and the tin tops, the 86s. So
I agree with
a lot of fun out there. So we'll delve into it a bit more as the weeks come on. We're into round 4 this week. So we've still got another 5 rounds to go before the season's out. And then we're still planning to have a endurance event at the end of the year. And that is in its planning stage at the moment. I think with the amount of V8 supercar drivers we've got in the series, we've got over 80 drivers. And we could quite easily have a bit of a enduro or mini enduro with 40 cars with two drivers in it.
Well, I should be back on track next season. So PC will be on its way. And hopefully I'll be in the 86s and get into those tracks. We'll see how we're going.
We'll see what we can do to keep you off the track.
I'm eager. I got the shakes.
You got the shakes,
I haven't raced for a while.
It's you'll when I had that little bit of break end of last season, when I got back in there, I loved it, and I'm really enjoying my racing again, which is good. Sometimes you need to step away.
You do need a bit of a breather.
Yeah.
No, this is I think it's been 2-3 seasons, so too long. too long. Anyway,
Yeah, hopefully you come back slower.
that I will. I know I will.
Anyway, look, that's a bit of what's going on and where we're going. If you are someone that would like to join our community as a sponsor, as a naming rights sponsor or anything like that, please send us an email to admin@simracingworld.com.au and I'll reach out to you and have a bit of a chinwag.
Yep.
We are always looking for new people to come on board. We do need the help.
Just that, Steve. Just on the other side of where I was going with my PC, we do build PCs, all styles, all kinds. So if you need PC or equipment, or you need information about sim racing, shoot us an email, get in contact with us and have a chat. We'll tell you which way to go. Doesn't have to be involved in our series. It could be anything or anywhere. Could be the simple question of what type of PC or what sim system should I buy, whether it's Santa Corsa, iRacing, or anything like that. So
can you stop swearing?
Yes,
Santa Corsa. What the? Anyway, look, but yeah, well, people do actually reach out to us. So a lot of people do use Facebook to reach out to us and
Discord
and ask questions.
Discord.
Well, they've got to be members to be in our Discord.
Yeah.
So Facebook is an easier format to get us if you don't want to email us direct. And we do get a lot of people asking us, what's on a Wednesday night, what's on a Tuesday night, what do we need to do to get in, where it is. And there's always someone, myself or one of the admin crew that's on Facebook ready to answer.
And the members as well. I've seen a few members responding to people saying, hey, what's good out there? So
yeah. Our members really get behind us and support us. So they really push the series that they're having fun in.
Yep.
Yeah. Look, let's have a quick break. We'll get Preacher and his Bible to come out, and we'll have a chat about the V8 Supercar AM series on Tuesday night and the Sim Rigs V8 Supercar Pro Am. Okay, welcome back, and we've got Preach beside us now. We're going to go through some hardcore V8. Oh my God!
Is there like copyright laws?
That's harassment in the workplace, isn't it?
Yeah, there's also copyright laws, is there not?
There is.
They're not. So
I shut it down after 5 seconds.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that.
whether they came in, whether they came up.
See how that goes. But anyway, we have Preacher with us. We're going to be talking all things V8 Supercars coming across our Simrigs AM series on a Tuesday night, and also following that, our Sunday night Simrigs V8 Supercar Pro Am series too. After the break, and don't go away because we'll chat about the events in Queensland over the weekend, and we'll touch base with how our Aussies went in the F1 in Mexico as well. So, Preach, AM's on a Tuesday night, mate.
Gee whiz, what a night. That was an absolutely cracking night of racing we had with the Super Sprint format at Homestead, Miami. That racetrack, I'd never seen supercars race there, but it was some of the best racing I've seen from our AMs, let alone in any category.
I watched
so
it.
far. And
I watched it, and I watched it all the way through. I didn't stop. It was sensational.
There was just always something going on. I think something about the layout of, it's one of those rivals that doesn't get a whole lot of love.
Yeah.
But the layout was just so appealing to, and provided such good racing in the sense that we included turns 3 and 4 of the oval of Miami, and it made some overtakes ballsy, but it gave you a lot of opportunities to make a move.
Well, you had the entry into the internal part of the circuit,
sketchy,
yeah, and then you had a short straight going to a hairpin,
and then another short
straight to a hairpin. So perfect scenario for some diving and some bombing and some bit of door banging.
Yeah,
and there was plenty of it.
There was plenty of it. I think was it Blake Gallen? I think showed us a little bit of diving, a little bit of bombing, but he managed to drive a really good race back up to, I think he was in the top 10 at the end of the feature. So he was pretty bang on in that one. Banging doors for bang on result. You see, the puns have come out, but look, in the feature race, Liam Tipping did exceptionally well, and I know that his teammate Joe was pissed because Liam had apparently only jumped in on Monday night and picked up a setup from Joe and just learned the track bang on, and then Joe sent me a message afterwards going, bloody Tipping, just jumping in there, just outdoing it. In Joe's defence though, he drove from 30th to 10th in the feature.
That's
in 20 minutes of racing, he made up 20 spots. Like
Joe's a really good driver. He
previous champion.
Yeah, he's
20 spots, surely.
Season 3 champion.
Season 2.
Season 2, sorry. he just overthinks it sometimes. He just gets it in his head sometimes, you know. He seems to drive a lot better when he's a bit more relaxed and doesn't give a crap.
Yeah.
And just goes out for a bit of fun. But it's hard to do in that series because it's such a close series. You know, you do a top 10 shootout in both the Pro-Am and the AMs, and it's literally, you know, like 8/10 from the top to the bottom. It's crazy how close it is. So it's epic fighting. I mean, that would be stressful as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Joe's, you know, he's had some unfortunate results over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
In the AMs and he stepped away from the Pro-Ams just to focus on the AMs for a bit. Correct. But the message I got from him, and I know Joe won't mind me sharing this, was I love racing.
Oh, yeah.
So all of a sudden it's just like his mood has switched.
Yeah.
And he's just so happy. But he's got a bit of work to do to chase his teammate.
He's working really hard at the moment because he's in training to be a producer for us.
Well, he's got everything going on for him. But I'll tell you what, I'll drop him in the comments box with him.
Yeah.
In whatever night he does,
he'll be,
throw me in there because I want to get in on the AMs. The series has been unbelievable to watch. I want to get in there and start racing. But no, Liam Tipping brought home the win in the feature race. A name that we have heard lots.
So what's
recently.
that team called? JTIT.
JTIT Race on Oz. So
he's actually a mate of Callum Hodgkinson. So they're actually mates in real life. Yeah, so they actually know each other. Because I remember when Liam joined the series, he goes, "Oh yeah, one of my mates is coming down to race." And I go, "Where is he? Is he in the Chris Cross team?" He goes, "No, he's in JTIT's Race on Oz." I said, "Oh yeah, cool, small world." So it's good. He's a bloody good driver.
yeah, I used to commentate for Race on Oz back in their ACC days. When they were still in the ACC. So hey, it's where I started.
It's where a lot of people start and they realise it's a game. No offense. It's just as competitive as iRacing.
Let's pause there for 1 minute. What's the comparison now after all this time? Assetto Corsa, iRacing.
I think as a driver, I prefer iRacing because there's a lot more variety.
Yeah.
ACC for me is, you know, in my line of work, when I do all my designs and that sort of thing, ACC is unbelievably good for graphics, for appearance and everything like that. The driving styles are completely different though, and I find myself enjoying iRacing more, mainly for the variety.
Yeah.
What do you mean by variety? You're talking gaming variety? You're talking racing variety?
The racing variety, I don't want to be doing GT3s every week.
Yeah, okay.
And to be honest, I haven't driven a GT3 car since Bar 24 in July.
So question again, iRacing and Assetto Corsa, what's the difference? What's better for actual races? If
you're on a budget, then ACC is the way to go. Yeah. There's a wide variety of tracks. There cars that you can start to get used to and that sort of thing. And most of it's all included in the base game. Yeah. Whereas for iRacing, if you really want to start developing and get yourself into, you know, you want to be driving prototypes, but then the next day you want to go back and drive 86s.
So what you're telling me is that iRacing is...
You need to then get a housing deposit.
Yeah.
A housing deposit for iRacing. So it's called iRenting. But yeah,
it does add up. It does add up. You're looking at for the viewers out there. You're looking at and then you also got to buy cars as well. So you've always got a cost effective there. I think what are the cars are about $14 as well, aren't they?
They're about $12 US.
But you get your freebies as well. So you get into iRacing, you get some tracks, you get cars. But then you've got to get your add-ons, whatever specific vehicle you want to.
And you can do it on a budget. Like there's plenty of tools out there to be able to find you a starting point of this is what you need to get through this many weeks in a series. And you can start to work it out that way. Yeah. Anyway, back to some real world.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's all right. Back to our AMs. So Liam Tipping on the top. Dylan DeBoto, a name that we just keep bringing up for some unknown reason. You know, he must be fast. He must be fast. He's unreal. So he's sitting there in second for the race, and then Darren Crosby, season 3 champion, managed to get himself into third in that one. And then it's Liam Tipping leading the championship. Yeah. So
DeBoto should be he who shall not be named.
Maybe
he's going to get a big head about this because his name's been popped up in every.
I mean, we didn't really mention it for good reasons last week, after what happened to Watkins Glen to him.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I may or may not have been involved in that particular incident. But
did you get him in the third heat?
I didn't get him, but I was involved in the incident that caused him to get hit.
Oh, okay.
I destroyed him. He came around the corner, bounced off the wall, and landed right in front of me, and I just plowed straight through him.
Not much you can do.
No, that was no.
But anyway, we're moving on from Mr. Dillon.
Yeah. So championships, Liam Tipping's leading. Yep. Jamie Davis for Autoserve Racing sitting there in second, and Matt Whitaker still holding on to that to the top three. So hasn't been a whole lot of movement, but it's very close. I mean, there's only 15 or 25 points between first and fourth.
Yep.
Like there is a lot to play. It's absolutely still anyone's.
It's anyone's, and one thing that you've noticed in the AMs, because it's so close in the points, they've been sharing the wins, whereas in the Pro-Ams, it's been a little bit one-sided. In here, these guys have to show up every week because their points are critical.
Yeah.
In the Pro-Ams, you've got a couple of boys that are just starting to drift away at the top now, and they can afford to miss a race here or there. So it's starting to get very, very tight in there. It's awesome racing.
I mean, Jace Douglas, like he's won a couple of races now, or had a couple of good podiums, and he's not even in the 10.
No, he's in 7th.
Oh, he's in 7th. So he managed to crawl himself back up. But 549 points is still, almost.
And Dylan Tabano just behind him.
Yeah, so Dylan Tabano with a couple of poor rounds by his own standards at Bathurst.
Yeah.
He was certainly happy in the box afterwards.
There's lots of points here for even the top 10 to still be involved and finish first. So there's lots of points.
And we're only 4 rounds through the season. Honestly, there's still so much more to play out.
Yeah, this will change. Yeah.
We're 4 rounds in, 5 rounds to go. Some really good tracks coming up as well. So it's
got a classic coming up tomorrow night.
We're at
Watkins,
and that's going to be
Watkins boot.
A lot of these different tracks suit some drivers more than others.
Yeah, of course.
Like some drivers are really good at the ovals, some drivers are really good at the street circuit, some drivers are really good at the really long sort of tracks. So it's going to be interesting to see who's up there at the top of the table tomorrow night.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'll definitely be watching if I can stay awake.
So last week in comms was difficult for me.
Yeah.
After
a late night of shoot?
A late night of shoot, and then an early morning and a late finish at work, and then I get home and I'm like, I'm just hungry. I just want to go to bed. Oh,
yeah. Sometimes
I'm going to get paid.
You just got to put that happy smile on and just smile through the race and just keep going for it. It was a bit like that on Sunday night as well. So speaking of Sunday night, the Sid Briggs V8 Supercars Pro-Am series on Sunday night, the feature race was won by Blake Delaney from Fishy Motorsports, Thomas Freeman from Fishy Motorsports, and Anthony Vismar from Accelerate. Anthony is absolutely killing it.
Yeah, he's doing really well.
He was doing really well. Like in each one of the heats, he was up there and putting his car on the line, had sensational battles of Blake, and a lot of respect. This is one thing that I've noticed from I watch a lot of iRacing. I watch what other people are doing, not to see what they're doing, but just to watch the racing. If any of our SRW drivers are racing in something, I'll generally watch it, and just to see how they're going, and give them a bit of a pat on the back, and I'll jump into the chats and say hello and stuff like that. But the fairness that these guys give each other, the space they give each other, but they're still rubbing, they're still bumping, grinding, yeah. They're putting the cars in positions that they know when they've got to pull them out to not get that impact in the corners. And it was fantastic racing. Few bit of carnage on Sunday night.
Well, was it a rolling start you had?
We had a rolling start. I believe that it was actually set up identical to what the 86 series was set up with. So it might have been a bit of a faux pas from the admin side of it, but it was still awesome racing.
Something different. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, it was good. Yeah. It was good. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. Yeah. It was impact all the way through. We had a lot of drive-throughs. A lot of drivers were throwing their cars in to get around corners. We had teammates take teammates out. We had fishies take out fishies. We had PSR take PSR out. We spoke to Tyson after the race, and he was not a happy man.
He wasn't happy on Tuesday night either. No, after Tuesday night, gee whiz. I would hate to be a PSR driver if Tyson comes into your box and...
I think he ripped the manure from what I heard. So,
Tyson will be sitting there having a laugh now going,
yeah.
You shouldn't.
He'll be probably listening to this at work or during his lunch break. But Tyson is our race director for Sim Racing World for our leagues, but he's also the team owner of PSR as well. So
Performance sim racing.
yeah, and his team is really growing. He's got some really good drivers in there, really good drivers, and the drivers are peaking at the moment. Some of them are. There was three of them on Sunday night. They were competing with each other and racing right across the field. We had it's like a sushi train at one point where it was like about 8 guys in the middle of the series, middle of the track, just racing each other. Then we had another 5 at the front and another 5 at the back of it as well. So it was spectacular fun.
I mean, talking about PSR, Travis Daly in the AMs won at Bathurst a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, those PSR boys they're not slow.
That was the night he was fighting with Jace Douglas.
Yes.
Yeah. That was a fantastic race, that. Get on there, get on our YouTube channel and watch the AMs at Bathurst last week, round 3.
Yeah.
Spectacular. And then after that, if you want some more, watch the V8 Supercars.
You know what I feel sorry for? Is our producer. Shibby, our main producer, because he's got to chop and change and understand where he's at, who's racing there and who's racing there. But he's doing a fantastic job. But
he's doing a great job and he loves it.
I know that. I know. He works hard.
He does. He works very hard. And it's not an easy thing to follow, especially when you've got a massive field. No. That's why we want to try to get some cam stuff going.
Yeah.
Which will
make everyone happy.
It makes everyone happy, yeah. But it also gives us that next element, which you do need to show people across different parts so you don't miss out.
At the end of the day, we want to put everyone on YouTube, on Channel 31 as much as possible, but you can't always do it.
No, this is true.
You can't always do it. So, the boys do a fantastic job, and it is some great racing, a lot of cars in all the series that we have. Yeah. And good on them.
Let me go through the ladder for the top 5 in the pros and the AMs. So in the AMs, we've got Guns Out Gowan from Velocity Sim Labs in first place, Ed Hayden from Performance Sim Racing in second, Travis Daly from Performance Sim Racing in third, Gerard Cifuentes from Performance Sim Racing in fourth, Andrew Cowan from Performance Sim Racing in fifth. Bit of a flavour there going through there. The boys are doing really, really
Who from the PSR boys is going to put their hand up and take out and go for Guns Out Gowans at the top? Which of those PSR boys is going to do it?
Do you know what? Travis Daly has been driving really well, so I reckon he's going to start slowly going up the top there. There's not a lot to him. There's like 89 points in the top 5. There's nothing, So
it's one race.
It's one race exactly, yeah. And then in the pros for our Pro-Am Simrigs Pro-Am series on a Sunday night, up front is Thomas Freeman from Fishy. All these guys are Fishy Motorsports, okay? I'm not even going to tell you where they are, but all these guys are. Thomas Freeman in first place, Michael Whiting, who's the head fish, in second place, Jamie Dyke in third place, Blake Delaney in fourth, Ty Delaney, his son, 14-year-old, has just been promoted to pro, is sitting in fifth place, and we're talking 95 points from first to fifth.
So that's a school of Fishy Motorsports.
There is a big school of Fishy Motorsports. It actually continues. It goes down to Kirby. It doesn't change until 8th place, where Bruce Tannock is sitting in there from Megan Turbo. So,
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's spectacular racing. It's a lot of fun. We can't say enough about the boys and the way they race and the standard that they race at.
Yep.
So get in there.
They're everywhere too. Every one of the major supercar series.
Yeah.
Scops. Yeah. The Logitech.
Yeah.
Invitational.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
We've got some of the fastest guys around racing in there at the moment. It is spectacular fun to watch.
Yeah. Good on them.
And battles galore. So get on our YouTube channel, SRWtv Live, and get in there and watch some of these racing. You'll absolutely love it. And if you get time, like and subscribe. There's a great prize you can win, which we won't go into too much detail about right now. But let's have a quick break. We'll come back and we will touch base and talk about the Gold Coast. My favourite driver in the V8 at the moment, David Reynolds. And
we're not talking about the beach, tourists, or anything like that? Gold Coast? No?
Oh, we can talk all about that. We can talk about the sites. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then we'll come back a bit later on and we'll touch base on our 2 Aussie legends that are racing in the F1 in Mexico over the last...
I thought you were talking about us too, but anyway.
Were we in Mexico?
No, but we're 2 Aussie legends.
Oh.
I said living legends, yeah? Anyway, catch you in a few minutes and we'll come back and we'll go through some more. And welcome back. we're coming out to the fun part. Actually, it's all fun part, isn't it?
Always is.
Yeah, it's all fun parts. But we're coming back to some juicy stuff for all you V8 Supercar heads. We're going to have a bit of a chinwag now about the Gold Coast and how much fun, carnage, a lot of bump and grind.
Always bump and grind at the Gold Coast. It's kind of the only way to get through that course. Bump and grind. Lap 1 heading down to that turn 1, 2, 3 chicane. Yeah. Like, they're super committed all the time. A few storylines about what happened after turn 3, especially at the back end of that second race. And Scott Pye has chose violence last night in terms of the way that he went about it. Absolutely slammed Jimmy Golding for his actions. I'm struggling I can't put all the blame on Jimmy Golding. I think there's a bit of marshal work that needs to be done in terms of safety. When he spun around and flick spin back. Like, fair enough. Where else is he meant to go? Yes, he might have had 6 seconds behind Pye, but at the same time, you don't know what's coming. You're facing the wrong way. Yeah. All it takes is someone to hit the wall there, over-committing to that corner, especially late in the race.
You've got to ask, where was the engineering team? Yeah, where was the communication?
But again, how much notice would they have had? Because we only saw on the broadcast from literally the time that Scott Pye rounds the corner and sees Jimmy Golding. We didn't see anything else on broadcast. So
no, you don't. You see him spin around and he just touches him and sends him into the wall and destroyed him. But it's like, I don't know, if it would happen in our series, that would be a drive-through penalty for not holding brakes when you spin.
No. Well, he was stopped. He was flick spinning to avoid. I mean, you're facing the wrong direction. Fair enough.
He wasn't flick spinning to avoid. He was flick spinning to get back facing the right way.
Yes, but
if he stayed there, he would have gone around him.
He would have gone around him. Yeah. So it's that. But at the same time, the marshal.
I'm with Steve.
Obviously, I'm just being the devil's advocate for both sides. That for Scott Pye, if there was more notice with some sort of yellow flag, there was apparently the single wave yellow had gone out. But in that situation, when a car stopped, I'd be putting out double wave yellows from a long way forward.
It's a really hard spot because it was a left-hand corner and you're really blind. You can't see the way the walls are. You really can't see through it or anything like that. So marshals that are sitting on that side where the drivers are coming down the straight can't really see it. So all you had left was the guys that were like where the runoff is. They were probably the only ones that could really signal to the cars coming through.
But at the same time, as marshal posts, you're meant to have knowledge.
So double flags, yellow, whatever.
Yeah. So maybe that's one of those things that just needs to be looked at better in terms of having this manual flag marshal waving a flag.
Yeah.
Those automated systems that F1 use where the guy just stands there with a button and goes yellow.
Well, I'm still going to say, where was engineering? Where were the communications there as well? Because they would be able to see the track map where cars were coming. And they could tell them.
It's so granular, though. It's so granular in supercars in terms of their data points with GPS and that sort of thing. They don't have the fidelity that they have in Formula One, where you can see, how far a car's gone offline. Yeah. In this, it's is he stopped? Yeah. It's not a high enough polling rate. So I think at the same time, engineering probably. It's difficult to say without having it on board for every car and knowing exactly where.
I actually think there should have been comms from engineering and comms obviously for the stewards or marshals on the road, and notifying the driver. That's what they're there for. Notify there's a driver, there's an incident.
Well, there was more from not just that. It was like where do you stand on the way Kostecki drove those last 10, 15 laps? I think he had more. I think he had more Penrite logo on his bonnet than what Dave had on the rear of his car.
For as much as Kostecki probably wanted to win that race, I think in his head he's going, I've got a championship to win. Yeah. I can't be throwing it away here trying to race David Reynolds.
That's smart.
I think the way that he played the race, and especially the recovery on the Saturday as well, to get himself back to where he was after that really unfortunate curb hop, the top 10 shootout, when his lap was looking absolutely mega. I think that him taking it a little bit more sensible potentially would have been was good. I mean, Davey had nothing to lose. Davey Reynolds had absolutely nothing to lose to try and win.
It was I mean, Kostecki was quite aggressive especially the last 5 laps. He got as it got closer and closer to the end, he was getting more and more aggressive and pushing Davey a few times to the point where I think 2 of the times Davey went through that chicane straight through because he had to because the rear end was so light. One of them, I think, was a bit of a cop-out.
The last lap was a bit interesting, I will say. But credit to Erebus, like, I'm sure that if Brody Kostecki had that much of a moment as well under brakes, Saturday was unfortunate for Davey as well. So looking back, he welded his brake bias forward. Literally welded it forward. He overheated the front brakes and was just getting relocking the whole time. So by the time you ruin tyres, especially when you come out of that last corner, you'll be really, really smart on your throttle application through there.
He's actually, I like him. My favourite drivers out there at the moment is Mostert and him. And I just like the way they drive. He's
typical Ford fan. Typical Ford fan.
Well, Dave. I think Dave's just been a bit unfortunate not to win more and have a bit more luck out there. I think he's a decent driver. At one stage, early on in his career, I was like, how old is this guy?
I mean, you look back 2012 when he sent Jamie Whincup, almost got him on that last lap at Bathurst. That was probably one of his best moments. But then it was 1,799 days in between wins for him.
How many days?
1,799 days.
Looked that up, didn't you, before we came in?
I might have had a bit of a read. But
That's about 3.5 years.
yeah, 3.5. Well, yeah, give or take. It was more than that actually.
Let's say 170.
Yeah, 179. It was the final race at Newcastle in 2018. I think it was 2019. So it's been a long time between drinks for him.
But one of them went nuts.
Well, I mean, what do you expect? I mean, when he won on the Gold Coast 10 years ago, he did a pop plan off the podium, and then I'm sure there'll be footage behind us of him flying around with a fire extinguisher, letting it off on the podium, and then he did a shoey, and then he still threw pop plans at his teammates down below. He's
probably still drinking now.
Party animal.
He's actually not that much of a drinker.
No.
Ever since 2018 when he had that really unfortunate cramp at Bathurst.
Oh, I do remember that.
At Bathurst. He's been doing a lot of training. He was absolutely spent at Gold Coast that year as well.
Yeah.
So he's been doing a lot of training. He's got a sauna at home.
Yeah.
So he's built a sauna and everything to try and avoid these type of incidents and that sort of thing. So
he's married to
Tahan out of Big Brother, yes.
Tahan from Big Brother.
Oh,
yeah. He's batting way below. He's way above average. He is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Tahan, if you want to come host with us, let us know.
So Davey Reynolds winning that.
I was saying that, Davey, if you want to come on our show, reach out to us, mate. We'd love to have you.
I'd love to get the Groves
as well.
I'd love to get the Groves on as well, because that was also one of their first wins in their ownership.
Yeah.
Especially out of this Penrite banner that they've got now in Gen 3. Great result for them. Yeah. They've been champions in everything that they've basically touched. They've been really fast in GT3. Doing Spa. Yeah. So that's they've had a Porsche Cup car, but they've mainly been trying their teeth in SRO GT3.
Yep.
They've done Spa. They did Dubai earlier this year, which I think they might have got a class win in Dubai. Yep. At the 24 there, and they're only just getting started really. Yeah. They've got a really good team. They've brought in Al McVeigh, Davey's old engineer, along with Davey. They've brought in.
He's moved, isn't he? He's going to.
It's Team 18.
Team 18, yes.
Yeah, Team 18 next year. So he's on the move as well. But I mean, it's not like they're bringing in a slow driver to replace him. And Richie Stanaway, a Bathurst champion now, a Bathurst winner.
There you go.
I'm very keen to see how that looks next year.
He can't be that good as Holland driver.
Hey, he started out in a Ford with Tickford way back when with Pro Drive.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was never a Holden. Oh, he was a Holden driver back when he was in GRM, but he's not a Holden driver now. He's a GM. He was a GM driver.
Yeah.
But
many more people. That's a distant memory. It's now General Motors. It's not even General Motors Holden. It's just GM.
It's just GM.
Yeah, it's just GM.
Anyway,
and the GM. There's a nice hole in the back of the garage over here.
Oh, yeah. If anyone wants to buy an S-Pack Commodore, 1993. 93, yeah. By all means, a great chance of us.
Talking about Groves, Matt Payne really showed his worth on the weekend. A front row start on Saturday with a really smart shootout lap to not be too far off what Cam Waters had managed. So I'm really excited to see how Groves develop over the next couple of weeks.
Was he 4th or 5th?
I think something like that. Yeah. He wasn't far off.
Yeah.
Up the top there.
He was behind Waters.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So not too far off the podium. Looking at the championship though, 131 points between Kostecki and Van Gisbergen. It was down to 107 after Saturday. So two races to go, 300 points on offer. It's all to play for, and then
Possibility there.
definitely there's a possibility. There's still hope for Gizzy yet, but I mean,
look, Kostecki needs to really ride the car off pretty much to lose.
he needs to not finish a race to really give the Gizzy any chance. But
Look, it is. It is. Triple Eight could send out one of their other cars and take him out.
I mean, Brock Feeney's out of the running for the championship, and so is Will Brown now. They're well outside 450 points. So it's all to play for between those two at the top. Still, all on the cards, I think, is about 170 points between Coca-Cola Erebus and Red Bull Ampol now in the teams championship, which, you know, it means a lot for the teams itself. But in terms of looking at next year, with the live pit lane that they're bringing in next year, it's not going to mean a whole lot. It'll be important for round one, which we now know as being part of the Bathurst Superfest. So you'll have the Bathurst 12-hour in the second weekend in February, and then the weekend immediately after is what will be I believe the Mount Panorama 500.
So the live pit lane, how will that be in round one?
So live pit lane in round one, so it'll be based off team championship results.
Okay.
And then every round moving forward will be based on the team championship results of that.
Okay.
Of that. So
depending where they are is depending where they're sitting in the pit lane.
In the garages. Yep.
We still haven't got a calendar yet for next year either.
Yeah, well,
so we know. I mean, we can run through the events that we know. We know we're going to have Bathurst in the Mount Panorama second, third weekend in November, in February. Then we know we're going to have the Grand Prix mid-March, mid to late March. Then it's like, so what fits in between? And I think Symmons Plains is probably still a favourite to fit in between. And then we know that we're going to Lake Taupo, back to New Zealand for the first time around that track. So that's the weekend before Anzac Day. And then probably May, we're probably looking at like a Perth, potentially about that time. And then you go June, Darwin, July, Townsville. They're basically locked in.
Newcastle's gone.
Newcastle's gone for at least for next year. So then basically after that, I mean, you've got the Bend, Sydney Motorsport Park. Is there a chance we might see another race? I doubt it. I doubt we're going to see a Winton, Phillip Island, or a QR to come back.
Phillip Island would be good.
I think it's just they're not sure on how the cars will handle Phillip Island overall, and it's also distance more than anything.
Well, Phillip Island, the problem is getting everyone on the island. That's the biggest problem.
I mean, in the industry that I work in, outside of all my sim racing stuff, I was very busy on the weekend for MotoGP. Very, very busy, because the only way you can get down there is by car. So the only way you can get down there, there's not very many, unless you've got a fair bit of this going on.
Start a ferry business.
Oh, you want to put a skirt on?
No, ferry business. Ferry.
Okay. Fair.
I mean, it is Halloween tomorrow. It'd be perfect. Anyway.
Tutu, bro. You carry around a star on a stick.
Pretty picture.
Anyway, so I think Phillip Island is going to be one of those long shot races. I think Winton's more likely, although they'll probably keep Winton and Queensland Raceway as being your testing tracks, which for as frustrating as that is, I think that's probably the only way it's going to go. So what have we got? So we've got...
Bring back Calder.
I mean, it's not far off.
Yeah, I know.
It's not far off. They had some racing. They had the big Adam LZ World Tour a couple of weekends ago, and they're
doing a lot of work on it. Turn one, they've completely rejigged to follow Australian motorsport standards. So they're looking at every aspect of it. So
they just need to make that track a little bit longer, and I reckon
go back to the old layout where they had the oval. When they had the Thunderbolt.
They're going to do a road. Yeah, that's what they're going to do. If they want to, that's they have to do, mate. If they want to be out there and be on TV, it'll be a spectacle.
I think the oval itself is a bit small to have a perfect roval inside. But in saying that,
there's a lot of land there.
Where do we bring back Oscar? Bring back the good old days of Oscar.
I think it's time for a break. We've mentioned Oscar.
Going clockwise around and over. People in the States are like, what is that? But
listen, I was actually serious. We're going to take a break because We're talking about Oscar now, all right? We'll come back and we'll have a bit of a chin-wag. We'll talk about something that me and Dee probably know a little bit more about than V8 Supercars and
Oscar.
Formula 1. Oscar. Formula 1 and Daniel Ricciardo and Oscar Piastri. Catch you in a few minutes. And welcome back. Up to our last stage of the show, we are going to be covering now Formula 1 and our Aussie legends out there participating in Mexico. What a spectacle that was. What did you think?
I was, I think, as every Australian is, every Australian fan, Danny Rick, like just putting that car into fourth in qualifying on Sunday morning, unreal. And then and then to keep running where he was, to be battling with Lewis Hamilton, holding him off for quite a number of laps. And I mean, it took one of Lewis Hamilton's good moves to get past him down into turn one. It's great. It's so good to see.
Look, he's a lot of doubters out there saying, "Oh, you know, why is Lawson in there? Why is that?" You know, I said it last week in last week's show. He's obviously done some really impressive times in his test that he did to get him back in the seat, Silverstone, and he's shown in the slowest car. That's supposed to be the slowest car, not the slowest car anymore. They've had some upgrades.
Good upgrades.
They've had some good upgrades, but still, they're talking about the car hasn't got any championship points. He hasn't got any championship points, and he's come back.
The other two have.
And in fourth place for a qual.
No, he killed it. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely spectacular.
Yeah.
No doubt at all.
Well, they actually, even a lot of the guys said, if you watched the post interviews, if it was no red flag, he potentially would have been that fifth, maybe held that fifth spot, sixth spot, somewhere around there still.
Yeah, he would have.
He would have been. Yeah,
I'm not sure the.
And he nearly put a Russell in the end. I reckon got him one more lap. If he had one more lap, would have got him.
Especially with Russell having to look after his brakes and
I mean, was having some issues. He was out in the mediums and Dan was on the hards. I'm not sure if the hard was the right tyre for him because Lando came through in the medium and he just flew through the field.
Well, he flew past Oscar as well, which
Lando had one of the great stints though. Yeah. One of the great stints, that second stint in the race.
Yeah, listen, I'm a bit concerned about the pace between McLaren, Oscar, and Lando at times. I know. Listen, Oscar's new. Lando knows the car, his tyres, and all that.
So Lando knows how to get the tyres to temperature in that car. He's used to the characteristics of that car. Oscar, that's the only thing that Oscar needs to learn is how to get those tyres up to temp and how to manage his tyres.
You with Jack Doohan, I can't remember when I watched it, but they talk about Oscar and Lando and Oscar. Well, he talks about it, and he highlights exactly what I just said was basically, listen, Lando's been in that chair for what, 3-4 years now?
5 years.
5 years, there you go. So he understands how to get those tyres to that peak performance that's where Oscar's struggling.
100%.
But what you've got to give to Oscar, though, is have a look where he's come. You know, he's actually won races. He's actually there a tenth or two. Sometimes he's a bit, further back, but he's under.
Really depends on it. It really depends on the track.
What you got to remember about Oscar is that he won the Formula Renault.
Yeah.
He won
his first go.
He won the Formula 2 first go.
Formula 3 first go.
Formula 3 first go. Formula 2 the first go. Yeah. The only other drivers to do that is Charles Leclerc.
You're missing one thing as well. He won, I think, the Australasian
Renault series.
No, the Australasian remote control car racing.
I don't know if that's true or not.
I think it's something like that.
Making stuff up. But he won the European Renault series before that as well. Yeah. So he's got some true pedigree out there. So what he's doing now is he's going to break Hamilton's rookie season points tally. That's what he's going to do.
It's nearly there.
Yeah, nearly there. It's a bit of a. It's not. He's not breaking it on equal terms. Though obviously there's a lot more races now than there was there. But you know what? He's a quality driver. He just needs time in that car and get that car to do what he wants it to do. And he's going to be an epic racer, mate. There's no doubt in my mind at all.
Can we just point something though? McLaren don't like Mexico.
Yeah.
What is it? It's 14 points since they returned to Mexico City back in 2018 that they've got. 14 points. They've got 23 last weekend at Texas.
Yeah. Like they're no good in slow corner tracks until Mexico, a lot of slow corner tracks. Lando was flying. Yeah,
especially the last stint.
Yeah.
The last
So the
stint.
car's characteristics, as far as what it can handle now, is really up there. It really is. It's
And I think we're going to see the best out of Oscar next season as well. I think it's going to be another step forward, because now that he's had an opportunity to get to know the team, provide his feedback, and they can take that on board in developing next year's car more towards suiting both of them.
Yeah.
And I mean, the car's going to suit Lando straight off the bat, just because of his experience now. And he's sort of knowing what to expect. But in terms of what Oscar can now provide,
don't forget, Oscar is some of these tracks is his first time on them.
Yeah, true.
the fellow Mexico. So
Some of these tracks he's done epic drives on, and all he's done is simulator work on them. So it's a big difference between simulator work and the actual track, especially the bouncing and the way the traction is affected by the bounce and things like that. That's one thing you can't replicate.
Just even getting to the grid, it's about setting up the tyre as well. There's so many little tricks that just to get the tyre into the right, temperature, grip wise, you got to be smart about it.
were they using too much of the tyre to get there?
I don't know if you saw Verstappen going to the pit lane, not pit lane, to line up for his race. He was actually driving around really slow, staying away from the corners, looking after that tyre.
Try to get the tyres clean.
Baby, really, looking after him. So, and that's what you got to do sometimes. So,
Yeah. Well, all right. So I guess the big stuff up for the day was Perez in the first quarter.
do you call it a stuff up or what?
I don't-
Saying that he went for it.
Mate.
He went for it. He had all the pace. He had a great slipstream assistance. Look, in hindsight, he probably would have gone. I probably shouldn't have gone for that move. I probably should have just tried to tuck in and take third for now.
You know what?
But
I think he should have just held it wide.
He should have held it wide.
He just can't.
it's such a difficult thing though to go 3 wide into a corner.
Yeah.
Not especially with your teammate on the inside.
He knew it was 3 wide.
Yeah.
He was thinking that the Ferrari was just going to pull up brake instead of him going, instead of cutting in so early, stay out wide. He still would have had momentum.
Well, the funny thing is, when they showed the track info later on, out wide was where all the grip was.
Yeah.
And he's cut in onto it. So if he would have stayed out wide, he would have slingshot past him anyway.
I don't know if that grip was there though on the outside.
No,
That's what Kareem said. He goes, out here is where the natural line. That's where the grip was from all the practice.
Yeah, there
What a
was.
wet track.
But because you've got to cut to the chicane there, it's a right hand turn, so you've got to cut to the line. So you're cutting across. He's just cut across too early over 2-3 people. So
Don't forget that the Formula One car doesn't always cut the apex, right? A lot of them will go around, come around, and go back like that to keep momentum going through it. And that's what one of those corners are like.
listen, he's been in the game long enough. He's professional enough. He knows he's under the pump. He knows he went for it. To me, I agree. Go for it. You have to. You're a race car driver.
Yeah.
But he could have had the momentum out wide and stayed, still the long game. May not have been first, could have been third.
At the end of the
Still
day.
would have been a great effort to be sitting in third posse.
You've got to finish the race at the end of the day.
You do.
And,
And it is his home race.
that's it. So, it's like he was like, I think he was trying to prove a point, and he proved it the wrong way. It's like, dude, you got qualifying 6th, down in 4th.
Yep.
Dan finished in 7th place.
Yep.
He didn't finish.
Yep.
Mm.
Christian Horner says, look, he's got a contract, he's safe. But I'll tell you what, if Dan keeps driving like that,
Yeah.
we'll see where testing happens the next year.
I told you guys about the Twitter that I got, that it's confirmed. Danny Rick's in the chair.
F1 Twitter, the cesspit of the internet.
I don't know how good that Twitter was. I won't name his account name.
Daniel Ricciardo for Prime Minister.
For the Communist Party. Look, I'm just glad that he's pulled out a ripper.
Yeah.
He's still not 100% in that car. He's still got a lot of work to
There's
do.
only
in that car.
how many? 3-4 races? What's he done?
That's his 4th, I think.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's 4.
2 before he broke his hand. He broke his hand in the second one.
Yeah.
And then he said this was his second one since he's come back.
Yeah.
So he's really only done 3 full length Grand Prix since he came back. So to be putting that car, yes, they've got all these upgrades, but he knew from the end of Friday that they had a top 10 car.
Yeah.
He knew it, and to end up 4th, the qualifying, the track dropped away on that second run. The track just went away. But to still be able to put it on 4th with no toe either.
2 tenths, I think it was.
Yeah, it wasn't much.
2 tenths or something like that.
You're like, Max.
Yeah,
behind Max.
No, it's just that's something like
That's something that
so it wasn't 2/10. It was 2/10 from position 1.
Yeah.
In fourth. So I mean,
It was half a tenth or something.
Yeah,
at the end of the first run.
And we're talking about a sister car, and we're talking about him behind Max, and then you're talking about his teammate who's got the other car sitting in 6th.
I think it was 2018, 2019 where Max was going for his big woo-ha first, whatever it was, first win or something like that. Yeah. And I think Daniel finished quality P1. They're all spewing on him because they wanted to.
That was in Mexico.
Yeah, that's right. Mexico. Yeah. Well, like 2019, 2018, and Danny Rick again. Yeah, you know, and it was only minute again.
Yeah, it was only a couple of tenths.
Imagine if he was in Perez's seat
right now.
Well, I mean, not for that race in Mexico. I reckon he'd be P1.
Oh, he would have.
I reckon he would have won that race if he was in that chair. So yeah.
Look, he showed he can do it. He showed that he's got the class.
Yeah.
He knows that the car. I think he knew that the car was likely to be where it was, and he. Look, in hindsight, they're probably like top 8, 7th position, where he pretty much finished anyway.
Yeah.
But, the safety car stuffed him.
Yeah, I definitely.
He had 3 seconds on Piastri.
Yeah.
And he was like 3 seconds in front of him. So he was in cruise control. He had no car in front of him, so he wasn't overheating. He wasn't having any issues. So he backed off from the car in front of him because he knew he wasn't going to catch it. But he still had a crack at George at the end and showed that he's got that pace. So, you know what? Good luck to him. I really hope... next track is Interlagos. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. That's a tough track.
And then Vegas.
Yeah,
another tough track.
Yeah,
probably another tough track for the AlphaTauri. That'll be 2 tough tracks in a row.
It'll be a tough track for everyone, I reckon. I don't know. It's like a Miami. I wasn't a fan of Miami's track, but
it's not like Miami.
No, I'm saying it'll be. I don't know. It's a road track, so it's been developed, and there's no grip and so on and so on. So
I mean,
it's going to be great.
Yeah, grip will get laid down because it's all about power.
Like Interlagos got rubber down already, ready to go. So it's.
I think they've had a whole lot of rain in Brazil though the last couple of weeks. So
and the thing is, it's like Mexico. It isn't used a lot. You're talking about nearly a third world sort of country at the moment. They've got lots of financial problems in there. Mexico track doesn't get used a lot. That's why it didn't rubber down as good as they wanted it, especially in qualies. That's where it affected them. So I think Interlagos is not going to be too far off that as well, especially if it rains.
One thing we haven't touched on, there was 5 new drivers or amateur drivers or F2 drivers. Rookies, thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
Drivers.
Yeah, that race. What did you think of those guys
that did P1?
Yeah. It was who was it? There was Jack doing Vesti, Hadja. Was there a Japanese one as well? Was he?
No. Was Fittipaldi in there for Haas?
Yeah,
Fittipaldi. No.
No, Vesti.
Did I say Vesti? Vesti was there. He did the.
Sure.
He.
I think he might have been.
Porsche was in.
Porsche.
I think. Who did you just mention before?
Vesti.
Fittipaldi.
Fittipaldi is actually signed for IndyCar.
Yeah.
So he's got a ride for next season.
He did a couple of IndyCar races a couple of years ago, just to wet his feet, But he's actually signed up for a whole season. Yeah. So ovals and road courses as well.
Oh, too. So really.
Yeah. Well, he's correct me if I'm wrong, but Max is dating his daughter, his sister. Is it Fittipaldi?
No, I don't think it's a Fittipaldi family. No.
It's the other one?
I don't know.
No, I think it is.
Oh, we can check that.
Anyway, we can check that. She was quite an attractive young lass.
But,
No, it's not Fittipaldi.
It's one of the famous names, though.
It's one of the race cars, yeah.
It is one of the race car names. It's definitely not Fittipaldi.
Danny Rick's got the Berger daughter.
The what?
Gerhard Berger. That's who Danny Rick's with.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it Gerhard Berger's daughter?
Yep.
How have we ended up on the wags of Formula One now?
Wags of Formula One.
And what is this? It's past. It's getting late.
It's late.
Russell and what's the?
Yeah, Russell Straight.
No, Russell.
Yeah, who thought it?
Russell and what's his name? The tie driver. I can't remember his name.
Alex Albon.
Alex Albon.
I think you're dating.
Aren't they going to him?
No, they're not. Alex has got he's dating a golfer, professional golfer.
This is Riverfire.
Can I do a walk off yet?
Yeah, you can. You can. Walk of shame. Anyway, listen.
Hang on, before you go, what did you think of those 5 drivers?
They were good. Nothing special.
I did.
they had a routine they had to follow. They had a schedule they needed to follow. They couldn't really shine, to be honest.
The important thing is the experience that they would have got.
Super license. Yeah.
My license.
All right.
Look, all that chitter chatter about, you know,
F1
wags and stuff like that, and the boys being straight go by. We don't mean to offend anyone, so please don't take it any other way. We're just having a bit of a laugh and a chin wag. But anyway, thank you very much for joining us again. By all means, catch us on Facebook at simracingworld.com.au as well, and send us some questions. Tell us what else you would like to see. We are planning some interviews as well, and some more equipment and more gear to show you guys as we develop this little studio that we're working in now. But thank you, Preach. Thank you, Dean.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, boys.
Good night, all. Have fun, and see you next week.
Love you a long time.
The total one, this is amazing. Up and clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down to the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff from Dave Coleman now.